Hello everybody. Let me move myself back a little bit. I have not videotaped for over a year. There's been many reasons for that, which I'm not going to go into. And yes, I have blue hair. Last Thanksgiving, some of my siblings and I shaved our heads, along with my mother, who was battling with cancer. And since it was so short, I decided to dye it blue. I thought, how fun can that be? Yes, it's blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it blue, but for now it's blue. Anyway, I'm really happy to be podcasting again. I hope I can keep up a regular schedule. And behind me, biggest reason I'm excited is because look at that gift I have behind me. So tonight we get to go see this baby, newborn. She's a week old, maybe 2 now. And I made this beautiful blanket for her. And it could be a christening blanket. So it's got, the inside is a pine cone pattern. And then it goes to what I think of as candles, candlelight. And then there's hearts around the edge. And I did crochet the edge. I wasn't sure how to finish it. So I'm working madly on writing this up. It used almost all, except for maybe 10 yards, of 1,500 meters of lace weight merino that I bought in an auction at the Knitters Guild to support the Knitters Guild of Minnesota. And I knit this on size 2. And I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. It's knit in the round. Started in the center with 8 stitches, I believe. Increased on the corners. And I love this. I am crazily working on the pattern, and I want to knit another one. It's got these basically 3 lace patterns in it, and it feels so scrumptious. I loved this yarn. It was like the perfect match of needle and wool. I was using Scacel, is that what they're called? Scacel. And it just buzzed along. I loved knitting every round. The pattern was easy to memorize. Well, for one thing, each row it's done 4 times. So the first 2 times you kind of follow the pattern. By the time you get to the 4th side, you've got it down. The only thing I'm unhappy with is there are some spots where you could see where I had markers. The stitches are slightly bigger. Let's see if I can find. I can't really see it now, but I put markers between the pattern repeats. Just, you can kind of see that. Let's see, where is that? Like right here, I think I had a marker, and it's just a little bit bigger. And then I moved the markers, of course, when I was doing the different patterns. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh, I'm so proud of it. It's very soft. Tonight we're going to visit the baby, and she's gonna get her christening blanket or everyday blanket. I hope she wears it. I hope it gets stained and frizzy and sucked on, and I just, when you put this much work into something, you really hope that it gets just worn out. I would love that. It would be such an honor to know this was her blanket that she always had to have with her. So that, it only took about 2 months. It was so fun to work. And now that I'm actually going to give it to her, I finished this 2 months ago, but now that we get to see the baby and I get to give it to them, I can post about it. The other lace project I've been working on is this. This is not white, and it's not blocked. It's very difficult. Oh, look how much it matches my hair. This is also New Zealand merino. Oh, this is Australian merino. I ordered it from an indie dyer years ago. Gossamer Web Design Collection by Galina Khmeleva. And I don't quite have enough yarn for the square shawl, so I kind of edited the pattern in that I took out a couple of repeats. You can kind of see, so I'm not doing this part and I'm not doing this part, but I folded over so I can keep doing the, my notes for the edging. So yeah, I just took out a couple of the repeats, so it's going to be rectangular. And this is how much wool I have left. It's quite a bit because it's so fine. You can see it's very fine and it's really soft. And this is all knit. It's garter stitch lace. And I'm enjoying it, but going back and forth is not as much fun to me as going round and round and round. So I'm pretty excited. I keep weighing the yarn after each couple of rows to figure out how much longer I can make this. It's fairly long. I don't think it's going to be as long as I want, but so I have been having fun knitting lace this year. I knit a lot for Christmas also, which I don't have the items to show you. Anyway, this is really exciting talking about my knitting again. This is a cowl. It's on really small needles, small in circumference, small, round cable needles. I think they're 3s. And it's a slip stitch, so it's not quite brioche because I'm knitting, slipping, and then knit a row. Then the next row, I'm purl and slip, and purl and slip. So it's creating this nice texture. And I had an edging on it, which I didn't like, so I took off, and I've just got yarn running through it. So I have to figure out what to do on the edge, because it does roll, and I don't want it to roll. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe, I don't know what I'm going to do. I had a seed stitch edging on it, and I didn't like that. It's Knit56 palette yarn, and I had a bunch, and I'm just using it up. I think I have a little bit more blue. I have some blue, which I was going to do on the edges. Blue, imagine. It's a blue kind of year. Blue. I'm going to put this around both edges. So I think the green is the last. I used up the white, I used up the gray, I used up all the yellow. I'm on the green. I might have a little tan and a little of the brown left. So it'll be nice and scrumptious, fun to wear. This is going to be for me. Of course, you know me, I'm always reading about knitting. I got this book, No Idle Hands, The Social History of American Knitting. And I've always had a relationship with knitting that I never stopped. Once my mom taught me to knit when I was 7 years old. And I remember the first sweater I knit was when I was, I think, a freshman in high school for one of my teachers that I adored. And it was it was from a spinner-in pattern, and it was a tennis sweater. So it was all plain, except it had a V-neck with stripes. It was, the pattern in the book was white with red collar and cuffs and bottom band and stripes in the collar, white stripes. Well, I knit a Kelly green tennis sweater. I don't know if she ever wore it. I doubt it. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a long time ago. So anyway, I have been knitting for 51 years. Yes, that lets you know how old I am. 51 years I've been knitting nonstop. I have never not had a project. When we were going through my mom's stuff, we found a picture of myself, and my first car was a blue 1965 Mustang. Classic Mustang. And it was, at that time, it was just an old car. I'm standing next to it with my bell bottoms on, my plaid bell bottoms that have pink, and I have a pink top on. And then there's a picture of me sitting in the car holding, I should find these and post them, and holding the steering wheel. And you can see on the seat next to me is 2 big pink balls of yarn with knitting needles stuck in them. So I don't remember what I was knitting, but something pink. And this was when I was 16, I think. Anyway, fascination with knitting, feeling like this is a piece of art. This is made out of alpaca. It's somebody, Parker Lane or something. I can't remember whose design it is, but it's beautiful. It took me forever. And is it art? Is it utilitarian? Is it craft? It is all those things. It's a comfort. It's a joy. It's a joy to give. Anyway, I'm going to read this book and enjoy every second of it. Well, I grew up in a fairly strict household, in some ways, and religious, and idle hands are the devil's work. Well, here in the beginning of the book, it says a quote by Isaac Watts from 1732, "Against Idleness," is the title of that book by Isaac Watts. It reads, "In works of labor or of skill, I would be busy too, for Satan finds some mischief still for idle hands to do." Well, I have been somewhat mischievous in my life, but my hands have never been idle. Can't wait to read this, and I will post this as soon as I can after I'm done visiting the baby and wrapping her in her beautiful blankets. Well, thanks everybody for, if you watch this again, it's been a long time, over a year, since I podcasted, but I'm going to get back to it again because I'm still knitting, still love talking about knitting and sharing what I read about knitting. So happy knitting to you all.